South Carolina, if you miss 2 free throws, they give out free chicken sandwiches.
Yep.
So I'm on the line. First free throw, miss it. Crowd going crazy. I mean, everybody on their feet now. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm feeling. I'm like, man, I'm about to win them some chicken sandwich. I go up there and shoot the other free throw. Whole crowd went crazy, man. I remember after the game, somebody was like, "Thank you for the chicken sandwich." I was like, man, that's.
Yo, what it do? We back at it again with another episode of the Real Understands Everything podcast, or as y'all like to call it, True Talk. And today we got a real legend in the house. I ain't even playing. We got a real legend, man. You got to do your research. Well, I'm gonna read off some stuff from this legend. You know what I'm saying? This was Gatorade Player of the Year, North Carolina. Might I add, you know what I mean? Rated the number 5 player, number 5 All-Star by All-Star Girls Report, rated number 18 by Blue Star Report, the number 20th recruit by ESPN Women Hoops, number 40 prospect in the nation, despite just playing only 2 high school seasons due to injuries. Let that sink in, man.
Which is crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, crazy. You know what I mean? We got Mikayla Boykin in here, signed to Duke. You know what I'm saying? All-American. Then she transfers, goes to UNC Charlotte and Conference was it for All Conference USA?
It was Conference USA.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got legend, man. I ain't even done with the accolade because the accolades just keep going. Multiple, not 20-point, not 30-point game, multiple 60-point games. So much so that she tied the record in the state of North Carolina. Can't even count how many 50-point games she done had, y'all. Quadruple doubles. You name it in basketball, she's done it. We excited to have you on, Mikayla. You know what I'm saying? How
For
you
sure,
been?
for sure.
Nah, I'm excited to be here, man. I know, how important and special this podcast is to you guys. So definitely want to get up here and show face and show y'all some love because you just listed off all those things about me, but y'all doing some huge things, man. Y'all changing the game. This podcast is one of my favorite podcasts to watch, actually.
Appreciate
So
that.
appreciate y'all for having me
Appreciate
on.
that.
For sure. So, and I didn't say it, but, obviously the people going to know, well, she is from North Carolina. So I want to start with that. North Carolina, you're from the basketball state. Some people will consider North Carolina the hoop state.
Hoop state.
I give you all that.
Yeah, I would say because some people going to consider North Carolina or New York. I always hear those two states come up when in terms of like hooping. Now, I'm from Georgia through and through, but I'm gonna give props what they do. I'm gonna give props what they do today. You know what I'm saying? But I really want
Georgia got the football.
Yeah, hey, see,
you can say that again because folks in the back don't realize Georgia football different. I can't even talk about South Carolina football. We got players, but they got it's very well rounded in that state for sure.
Yo.
So I want to take you through, or I want to start from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Basketball. Where did that love of basketball come from for you?
Yeah. I think essentially the love for the game for me came from my environment. Like I tell people all the time, the influence that I have from my father to my brothers, like that was my community. That was the deciding factor for me. I grew up around the game since I was a baby. Like the ball was placed in my hand and it wasn't something like it was forced. Like my dad never forced a game on us or me or my brothers or nothing like that. It was more so I saw my older brother Michael. I saw them in the gym with a rock and I was like, yo, I want to be like Mike. Like I know like, I want to be like Mike. That was my brother Mike was like my Mike Jordan, right? So he did, I tried to replicate it. If I see him dribbling around the court with his left hand, I'm doing it. But I'm doing it, trying to do it 10 times better than what Mike doing it. So that's kind of where like the influence for the game came from me because I started playing when I was 4 and I haven't stopped since.
So now, and I'm glad you brought up your brothers because I did see that all 3 of y'all went to college for sports, basketball. So what was dinner like at home? Like, was it like that Cheryl Miller and Reggie Miller? Like, yeah, man, I dropped 30 today. Well, yeah, cool. I had 60. Like, what was that dynamic like coming home after games? You know what I'm saying? I know that builds a little bit of competitiveness, but like a good civil rivalry, sibling rivalry.
Yeah. I think that when it comes down to, competitiveness and things like that, Like me and my brothers, we competed, right? Oftentimes you will see like a lot of people trying to put us up against each other, but we were so close knit that we didn't allow that to affect us at all. Like they would literally try to compare and stuff. But we were just like, nah, like, that's my bro. He doing big things. Like I'm gonna support him to the fullest. But at the same
Right.
time, behind closed doors, like we go at it. Like, I mean,
Right.
yeah, going at
As
it to
every
sports
sibling.
and like dad gotta come in and be like, yo, like y'all better chill, punishment. Like we would really, really go at it to the point where like, mom is like, man, I can't take this no more. Y'all need to chill. But it was fun.
That's
You
good.
got 3 hoopers, and I'm blessed to be able to have grown up with brothers who hoop too, because it was like they were my motivation. Like I was in the gym and I'd be like, yo, like you not finna outwork me type of thing. But
Right.
then also it was like I already had my built-in teammates, right? So keep going up. It's our 3 versus your 3, and we ain't gonna lose regardless of who we playing against. So that's the type of relationship we have. But then on the flip side, like you said, like when it comes to, scoring points in games and stuff, like yeah, we would compete with each other with that and be like, yeah, I dropped such and such. But at the end of the day, it was all support. It was all love. I mean, I'm super proud of what my brothers were able to accomplish in their lifetime, especially in the basketball scene too.
For sure.
For sure.
So I gotta ask too, you know what I mean? You become the childhood prodigy, you know what I'm saying? You have a good model to look out to when it comes to like or look up to like with your brothers and everything. You get to high school, and it seems like just based off of what I've read, things start to kind of come natural to you on the court. And then you experience what your first, I guess, can't talk.
Season
Your
ending
first
injury.
season ending injury.
Yep.
That's a big word for Elmo. Take me through the mindset of that, and like how did that affect you as far as like, wanting to like go to college, like recruitment and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I think my situation was a little bit different because when I first tore my ACL for the first time, I was 14, and at the time, literally being 14 years old, I was actually ranked #1 in the country. So whenever it happened, I thought it was the end of the world. I was like, man, ain't nobody gonna ever want to pick me up on a team or whatever. But granted, I had committed to Duke in the 8th grade. In my head, I'm like, man, Duke not gonna rock with me no more. And my dad just kind of looked at me. He was like, it's
Hold
not the
up,
end of
hold
the
up,
world.
hold up,
Like, you
hold
You're
up.
not about
good.
to skip over that like you're
Like,
not
Yeah,
just
chill.
said
yeah,
that.
we can't just walk
Yeah,
past that
like,
like you would say.
good. So during that process of, tearing my ACL, I'm young. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. I'm like soaking a little bit. My dad was like, this is the last day that you finna sit here and soak. The last day.
Shout
Ever
out to
since
Pop.
then, it was the grind. It was like, all right, work my way back, be better, be 10 times better than what I was. Came out of that probably like a couple months later, maybe like 8, 9 months later. I was touching rim. I was like, yo, like, who would have known that tearing my ACL would have helped me in so many aspects, but not knowing as a youth, right? Not knowing
Right.
that I was gonna have to focus in rehab on the little things, like the little things that matters, like biometrics, my quad strength, hamstring strength, all those things that contribute to athleticism and all that kind of stuff. I was blessed to be able to bounce back super, super, super quickly and essentially get back on the court. But then I came back, toward again. So it was just kind of like a domino effect. And I was like, damn, I gotta do this again, like all over. But essentially, like I said, like I soaked in the beginning and I was like, nah, it's time to get back in the gym and get to work for sure.
For
Like,
sure.
I got something to prove.
So, you committing to Duke early on tells me, because I was going to ask you what was the recruitment process like for you, but
That's
you committing
crazy.
to Duke in the 8th grade tells me that's pretty much been your dream school.
Nah, it wasn't actually. It was
Wow.
UNC, NC State were like my go-to schools. Duke wasn't even really in the picture, honestly, like as far as, wanting to be at Duke, right? Like I
Right.
was getting recruited, offers from almost every school in the country. Like I remember my middle school game, it was so crazy. Middle school game, championship game, I had Duke and UNC sitting beside each other, like front row.
Wow.
Like it
Oh,
was
wow.
crazy. So I look up and I'm like, yo, this is wild. Wild to me.
Basketball recruiting is crazy because in football, you know how good you got to be to have a college coach to come to an 8th grade football game.
Fact.
Yeah. If they drove to a small town, it was actually in Midway, but they drove to a small town to watch me play, and I was like, this is wild. Like that's when I really knew, like, dang. But as far as the recruitment process, man, I laugh all the time because it got to a point where it was so hectic and it was always something like happening that if my mom was, because at the time coaches weren't able to, holler at us directly. They weren't able to like directly reach out to us, but we had to reach out to them. My mom would get on calls and stuff with these coaches, and if it was somebody I was not trying to talk to, I would feel like I was asleep. I'm like, yo, I want to be a kid. Like I do not want to have this conversation.
Man.
Like, it was crazy to look back on, but like I said, I'm super blessed to be able to be in that position too. Like it was amazing. Just my entire childhood like shifted because of that. So it was definitely fun, but hectic.
I would have been that coach that. Go ahead, Mike. I was finna say I would have been that coach. You know how somebody try to talk to you directly but indirectly? I'd been talking to your mom. Yeah, if she comes to Duke, we got 50,000 waiting. Like,
Facts. It's so funny though, because go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say what I was going to ask is about this recruiting process and you committing to Duke and really not, I guess, necessarily wanting to go to Duke, but you had like, you wanted other schools. I was going to ask, like, what other offers did you have and did you get a chance to even go visit these schools? Because I know with football, it's different. I mean, you go to a camp and then you get to tour the facilities and stuff and whatnot. Did you actually get a chance to go to some schools that you just were like amazed at their facilities and whatnot? And if you did, what schools were they?
Yeah, actually, shoot, I don't even remember what my top 5 was. I had a offer from you name it, pretty much. I think the only one, honestly, I didn't have an offer from was like UConn. But it's so funny because I was on recruiting. Like after I committed, I had schools. We had Boo Williams. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Boo Williams Sports.
yeah,
It's a basketball gym.
I dated a hooper that went to
I had
Clemson.
committed to Duke in 8th grade. Right after that, we had the tournament. So I'm hooping in the tournament. And I got coaches, big time coaches that you probably thinking of the coaches I'm talking about. They're like, they're pretending like they're on the phone. They're like, hey, I'm still gonna get you just because you committed don't mean nothing. Like it's so great. Like, I'm walking to the bathroom, got head honchos like, listen, it's not over. We still got time. You know what I mean? But
Right.
as far as the visits and stuff, I didn't take any other visits because I committed so early. And I already knew like I was set with Duke. It was like, one day I woke up and I was like, yo, like I really want to go to Duke. And it wasn't even, basketball played a huge factor in it because, I love the game. Duke had an amazing, basketball program. But what stood out the most to me about Duke was that Duke stood with me through everything, like every single thing. And when I mean everything, like my surgeries, they stood with me as far as, family wise. Like they had a really, really good relationship with my family, but most importantly, the education piece. They knew how important that was to me at that young age. And they really supported it. Like they was coming to the school checking and seeing if my grades were straight. They going to the counselor. What's like, how's everything going? You know what I mean? Like they locked in. And for me, that was the most important thing. Like I come from a city where, violence is played with a lot of violence and stuff. And to me, the education piece was like, okay, now I have the opportunity to go do something that people wish they could do. That's hooping and the education piece, right? How far is hooping going to actually take me, right? It's limited. But about education, how far is Duke education going to take me? Like that's limitless.
That's facts.
They
You know
say
what I mean?
a Duke degree like getting a tech degree almost.
Yo, the Duke connections that I have, like that I'm still connected with, that you call me to this day, man, it's amazing. And I'm super glad and blessed that I was able to, had the opportunity for sure.
Hey man, as much as it pains me as a, you know what I'm saying, because I love Clemson, you know what I'm saying. Shout out Duke Blue Devils. Can't believe I said that out loud. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Duke, man.
Speaking of Duke just won last night. I watched that game.
Yeah.
It was fire.
Yeah, them boys.
That's 3 championships. You got Duke football, Duke men's basketball, and Duke women's basketball, all in the same year.
I did not realize that.
All in the ACC champions, all in the same year.
Wow.
I know them Clemson fans going crazy.
Hey, listen. We're gonna bounce back, man. Go Tigers. But I wanted to switch gears, before we get back on the basketball topic. I see that you know what I'm saying, you started doing music. You know what I'm saying? You got in your artist, you know what I mean? Where did that come from? Was that something you picked up later on, like when you got to college, or is something you always did on the side, but like, going through injuries and having downtime, you know what I'm saying? Because the one thing we all know as former athletes, when you get injured, you get a lot of downtime now. You know what I mean? Like, you still going to meetings and you still putting in the work to get back, but you got more downtime to start finding out what it is that you're like good at outside of your craft. So I wanted to ask you, like, where did that come from with you?
Yeah, I think that the music piece came from, like you said, the trials and tribulations that I had to face, sitting with myself, trying to, understand who I am, what I am, my identity. And just so happened whenever COVID hit. COVID was like a pivotal point for me in my life, and just,
Man.
the realizations that I had, we had a lot of time to just sit and think and just be present in the present moment. And a lot of times
Right.
whenever you in a position like I was of, being a top athlete and being at Duke, you don't have a lot of time to be grounded. So when COVID hit, it was like my space to be grounded, right? And, we had everything going on with like the Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I lie to you not, one day, I can't make this up. One day, whenever I went home, my mom and them, they kicked us out the house whenever, we go to college and stuff. They start rearranging stuff and all that, right? They taking out furniture and all that. When I come back home, they had to turn like our dining room into like my bedroom, right? So it ain't got no doors. It's like you can walk straight to the kitchen, straight to the living room, but they put curtains up, so it's like safe space. So
Right.
with no doors, mom has the right to just enter, right? Whenever she feel like it. So
Right.
she opened up the curtains to my fake doors, and she goes and opens up the blinds. And as soon as she said, like, as soon as she came in and opened up the blinds, my head just started churning, right? And I wrote my first freestyle off of her opening up blinds. And it was
Right.
like, it was something about, I can't even remember what it was, but it was something about the sun shining through the window, pretty much. And I wrote my first freestyle. And from there, I posted it online. And I don't know if y'all familiar with Nolan Smith, but he coached at Duke men's basketball. Now he's having a phenomenal season at T.R.U.E. Just won a championship more dancing. He posted, he commented on that video, and he commented and added Ninth Wonder. Ninth is like the basketball guru. He's the producer, big time producer. He's signed with Rock Nation, has his own record label. Ninth put the eyes. So I'm like, oh shit.
That's crazy.
I'm like, hold up now. So, he's on the radar, ended up getting connected. So one of my friends, she was like, all right, I have this opportunity. It's called Unlock Her Potential. And you can have a mentor, right? You'll be able to have a mentor. So I signed up for it. And when I tell you I BS the whole thing, I was like, man, I can't even, like, I don't have enough time to finish this. It was like, you had to write an essay and stuff. I was like, ain't no way I'm finna get this. Ninth text me. And he was like, what's up, Minty? And I was like, yo, what the hell? Minty? He was like, so we got on the call, and he was like, yeah, like, I seen your name. I've been following you for a long time. You didn't even know it. So from there, that's when my music really started taking off, because I'm able to, work with him. I'm at his studio. He's working with me on music, sending me beats to jump on. Like, it was like a whole, like, within 6 months, my music went from ear to ear, because now I have all these influences, in my way. But, back to your point, it's like I had the opportunity to be able to write my thoughts down. Like, I'm not the person that can just sit here and tell somebody how I feel. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, man, I'm having a bad day, because you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that type of person. But what I can do is I can put a beat on, and I can put some
Right.
lyrics to it, and I can tell you exactly what I'm feeling, right? And it make the
Facts.
most sense for me. And it feels like an avenue for me. So I use that as a way to be able to, one, spew out hope to the youth, because I love rapping to the youth about, just positivity. But also I love to rap stories. Like, I'm a storyteller. I could tell y'all a million different stories in a million different ways in music. So that was just like my way of being able to, express myself.
Yeah. I
Right.
like that. That's dope. Cause
That is
I
dope.
got a little musical background, you know what I mean? But
Oh,
it's just
what you be
funny the
doing?
minute, hey, listen, man, I little this, a little bit of that, you know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
when you said that, you was like, your mom walked in, opened the blinds, and you was like, I just wrote my first rhyme. I could not help but think of Ice Cube when he said, just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God.
No,
I
for
don't know what
real.
today seemed kind of,
No.
but yeah, man, I did a little music thing here and there. I got a brother that's a producer, cousins, countless cousins that rap. And being from Atlanta, being from Georgia in general, just like music is an essence. It's a part of life out there.
Yep.
I
Culture.
got into it. I made my very first rap song seven. Yeah, I think I might have been 5 or 6. I know it sounds crazy. I was like Lil Bow Wow. I was at my godmama house at the time in Ohio. My god sister Roxy, she dated this producer at the time. I don't even know this dude's name. I just know he was a producer in Ohio at the time. And he put on this little beat. He was like, just go freestyle, say something. I didn't even know what freestyle meant. I just went in there and said whatever.
Yep.
And he just blended it in, and what we got out of it, I only remember the chorus, and then I remember I used to have this best friend named Tay, and I wish I could have that video or that CD, because the chorus was big wheels on little motorcycles, power wheels, they too slow, so we don't like them. I remember that. Like, I don't know what made me say it, but hey, listen, it's a hit though. You feel me? And then I just like me and my boy Tay, and I don't remember the rest, but yeah, music has been a part of my life for a long time. And then fast forward, like you say, 2020, COVID hit. I always wrote, like when I went to JUCO in Cali, I freestyle. That's when I kind of started like, okay, I'll put it on a track somewhere. And I would freestyle, trying to figure out my voice, like my voice sound too deep on this one, or it sound too light on this one. Like I always could harmonize and everything, but I was just trying to kind of like figure it out and see what works for me. But yeah, so I pretty much go through like this whole phase of like trying to figure out like what's my sound. And I done freestyle off of so many different beats from like at the time, everybody go to YouTube, get the beats off. And I kind of just like it stuck with me.
Really got it pumping.
Man, and so that was like 2017. Fast forward 2020 come around, I kind of like revisited. Coach, ain't nothing going on with football right now. And like I said, my brother that was a producer, got connected with him, reached out to some friends. Shout out to my dog, Look Gang Cabayas, man. 33K as he rebranded. Just got out of jail too, but But anywho, he signed with Boosie though. He's been with Boosie forever, and through him, got connected to Boosie, and the rest was history. But I kind of like I shied away from it for a while. I was good, wrote some songs for some people, but I don't know. It's something that I keep in my little bag. I do from time to time, but I ain't been in no studio. I ain't been in no studio in a little minute, man. I got to get back right though.
You holding on to some gems.
For sure. Yeah, that's what made me want to ask about the artistry, because I'm like, I definitely love music. I'm the type of person that I can listen to songs from people when don't hop in my car. Don't give me the aux. You might hear some gospel, some rock, rap, country, pop, whatever. If it sound good to me, it's gonna get played.
No facts.
I ain't gonna lie. As of recently, I've been on that Cole. Cole is my all-time favorite rapper right now.
Come on, man.
Yeah, the Fall Off.
I love
it's
it.
It's finna repeat into July 10th. July 10th. Whenever that concert is, that's it's on repeat.
Nah, facts. I feel that. But yeah, man, let me get back to the basketball, because I could talk music all day. So let me ask you, you get to Duke freshman year. What was that experience like, finally getting to a school that like, or really, I ain't gonna say finally getting to a school, but just finally getting to college? What was your, welcome to college basketball moment? And what was your experience of just finally like welcome to college moment?
And before you answer, I do know you came from a small town like of Clinton. So coming from a small town and going to a big town like Duke, because I know my experience from going from where I'm from to Georgia. How was that also for you? And that's the same question.
Yeah, I felt like I made it. Right? Like it was so surreal, because like I knew the moment was gonna come, but I didn't know what to feel within the moment of it. Right? So being able to just get on campus and walk through the facility, walk through the campus, man, I was just looking like, damn, how did little me get here? Like I was one of those kids that's trying to do backflips off trash cans and stuff, landing on my stomach, food home, running around outside. I was just like, yo, this is crazy. So whenever I got there, I was just like, I was super thankful and I was grateful and just, praying, because I was like, man, people don't make it here. Not from where I'm from, right? Like everybody in my hometown living through me, right? Like I'm like the image of what they see is like made it right now. Now when I got there, it was like, the influences that I had people like, and I had 2 All-Americans on my team. I had Lexi Brown, Becca Greenwell, and, they're amazing people, still friends with them to this day. And they really showed me what it meant to work even harder than what I was already working, right? How they were in the gym, how they, you know, apply themselves to, you know, fans, to, you know, every aspect of being a top college athlete. They showed that, right? And young me, you know, I'm trying to take in all the lessons. I love to learn. I'm an infinite sponge. So I'm listening and learning and picking up on things that they're doing because, you know, they're in their 5th, 6
Right.
years. And I'm looking at them like, y'all got the blueprint, right? Now, how can
Right.
I build my own path, but also pick up things that you guys that made you guys successful? But I would definitely say like my welcome to college moment, freshman year, South Carolina.
How did I know
And
it was gonna be South Carolina? Don stated they
I'm
had
going up for a layup.
mhm.
Who y'all think came through?
Asia.
It was either Asia. Wait, what year did you get Duke again? Was it
2017.
twenty
Asia
seventeen? So they
Wilson
would have yeah, yeah,
came through.
I was about to say that was
Man,
her year.
that was her
yeah.
year. Listen, she came through. I was like, why did I even do that? You feel? And she ain't block it, but I threw that joint over the basket. I was like, yo, I was not expecting this big like monster to come through and just, man, little me was like, yo, that was wild. But then later on in that game, so crazy because I'm a freshman, I'm young. South Carolina, if you miss 2 free throws, they give out free chicken sandwiches.
Yep.
So I'm on the line. First free throw, miss it. Crowd going crazy. I'm meaning everybody on their feet now. I'm like, oh, dude. I'm feeling it. I'm like, man, I'm about to win them some chicken sandwich. I go up there and shoot the other free throw. Whole crowd went crazy, man. I remember after the game, somebody was like, "Thank you for a chicken sandwich." I was like, man, that's.
That's a
I was like,
crazy
man,
thing.
that's crazy. But that was definitely my welcome to college moment for sure.
You know what's funny? So I've actually had a chance, like I said, I dated a hooper to play at Clemson, you know what I'm saying? I've had a chance to go to South Carolina and watch them play in person. I've even seen, I remember when they had the Twin Towers, they had Asia Wilson and Elena Coates.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they had I don't remember who it was on Clemson's team. You know, some of them girls like sisters, some of them, you know what I'm saying, to this day. So I ain't gonna single them out. But there was somebody. They fed me a Chick-fil-A sandwich after the game. I'm just saying. Cause it come raining down. Everybody get this
That's
little Chick-fil-A.
crazy. That's crazy.
Hey
That's crazy.
man.
That's
That's
crazy.
gotta be one of the most intimidating things though, I feel like as a player. Like to know that you about to feed families if you miss this.
Man, it was. I was like,
Bro.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Man,
That's crazy.
listen, and it's crazy because South Carolina's fan base, one thing I like before I really knew a lot about women's basketball, or you know, back then I was, you know, still new to it. I didn't like a lot of women's basketball games, I didn't think that they drew a crowd like that. So
Yeah.
going to South Carolina was like my first, that was like the set the bar. Then I was
Mhm.
able to go to, or I ain't go, but I was able to watch games. Like I watched Duke. I'm like,
Yeah.
Duke pack it out in the like they do for the men's. Then you find out places like Notre Dame. First of all, Notre Dame fans travel.
Mhm.
Hey, them people got
Man.
money. Nah, for real, but they'll pack out a stadium. And so it was just, you know, that just brought back some memories though, man. So you're welcome to college. You know, I relate to your welcome to college basketball moment was against Asia, which is crazy. And then, you
Yeah.
know, appreciate it. I know if y'all listening, if you was at that game, you know, go ahead, shoot Mikayla, thank you for that Chick-fil-A that night. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Question that
But
I got off of that.
go ahead, Mike. You good?
I was gonna say a question that I got off of that is besides going against players like Asia Wilson, obviously that was her in her prime, but what are some
Mhm.
other big names that you were going against that you like, okay, like this is real deal college basketball. I'm real deal going against some players for sure. So who else could you name outside of her?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Is you there? A dog.
Asia Durr.
Yeah.
Hey, from
Wow.
Louisville.
A dog. Kelsey Mitchell. Like, shoot, I had to go up against Lexi Brown every day in practice.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah.
She an 8-year vet, like in the league. Who else? Man, it's so many. It's so many. Like pretty much every team that we played against had a
Mhm.
dog on it. And I remember she my class. I remember Dana Evans. She used to have to pick me up full court, and Dana's small, so she was a pest. I mean, like imagine you got Dana over here in your grill the entire game, full court, picking you up.
Mhm.
You still gotta run plays. You still got to get everybody situated.
Mhm.
Man, pissed when she had to guard me. Pissed. But like, you know, this I've had the pleasure of being able to play against a lot of big time names.
Mhm.
The women who were doing the thing, being an inspiration to others to this day. So, you know, something that I'm blessed. You know, I'm blessed to be able to say that I played against them. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, we're gonna get into because I always ask my guests at least one or two controversial questions, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna wait to the end because I got one I want to ask you about. But right now, you know what I'm saying, I wanna switch gears back into you get to college, still at Duke, and then you go through what would be your third ACL tear.
Which year? Well,
This would have been so your freshman year.
freshman year. Yeah,
2017.
yeah.
Mhm.
I tore it freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Third
So
time.
take me through, you know what I'm saying, the mindset. You coming from high school, you have all these accolades, you experience an injury, then what was the mindset different from coming back, like trying to bounce back from then compared to now you're in college, you're in school, everything's going well, and then boom, you go through an injury again. What is your mindset then compared to what it was in high school?
Yeah, I think it was the same. Right?
Mhm.
Like, I've always been taught how to persevere, you know, and,
Mhm.
and, and go through different things and how to bounce back, right? Like coming from where I
Right.
come from, we go through shit. Like we gonna go through something. Respond to the things that you go through. So whenever I went through, you know, my freshman year, it wasn't like something where I was distraught this time. It was more so like, "Oh, I'm coming back, and this time I'm coming back 10 times harder than what I did last time." You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Because at this point, it's becoming a new norm. I'm like, dang, like, why does keep happening? You know what I mean? And I try not
Right.
to ask why, but you know, still grateful to be in the position that I'm in. So just like, all right, I'm just gonna work, you know, 20
Mhm.
times harder now and come back
Mhm.
stronger than that. And that's what I
You know,
did.
it's something you say, you know, becoming the new norm. And I ask this because where I'm going at with it is like mental health.
Mhm.
Because I know as athletes, we go through things on the court, off the court that affects our mental greatly. Like like those core principles and core values inside you, like bounce back, bounce back. But like you say, that new norm, it's almost like where they say the angel on one shoulder and the devil on one shoulder is like, just
Mhm.
give up. Just don't even worry about it. Like it's your third time. And then going forward the next season, it happens again. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so with that happening for you, like to see you persevere and continue to keep going, I tip my hat to you for that for one.
For
Because for
Appreciate
sure.
it.
me, what they say off a rocket, throw in the damn towel. That would have been me.
Mhm.
I would have felt defeated. And I bring that up because I've had an injury. I've injured my shoulder in football, pivotal in the most pivotal time frame of my life. I injured it in JUCO football. Everybody knows in JUCO, that's your time to like, in a nutshell, revamp. You go
Mhm.
there, you got to try to pick up offers to get out. I get injured after winning the starting spot before the first game, and then I missed the next 6. I'm up
Yeah.
here like, man, I done wasted my mama resources. We ain't got no money to pay for this. Like I'm up
Right.
here. I ain't like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, my career over with. You know, but God had a plan the whole time, you feel what I'm saying? Because coming back, I made the most of them last, like, thankfully my team was good and we made the playoffs, and that gave me more time to put something on film.
Mhm.
But yeah, I bring that up because I know like sometimes when it's like you're finally getting in motion. It's like you hit those roadblocks and it can be pivotal, you know what I'm saying? And I just kinda I guess I'm asking like in those moments of I don't want to say rock bottom because it might not have been rock bottom for you, but like in those moments of like you just like man, like have you I guess what I'm asking is, was there a moment where you just felt like I wanted to quit? Like I wanted to just give up?
100%. And I would be sitting here lying if I said that I wasn't. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Like, you know, you gotta think about it from perspective. Being once number one player in the country to
Mhm.
now with 4 ACLs under my belt. Dreams are starting to diminish. But
Mhm.
everything that I wanted for my life starting to, you know, deplete. Like it's just like what is realistic for me now? And I think that
Right.
and I don't think that the surgeries per se was the reason why I felt super defeated. I think
Mhm.
I had a mixture of emotions, right? Like what I envisioned as success for me
Mhm.
wasn't gonna be success anymore. So it was me trying to figure out how do I manage going through this surgery, recovery,
Right.
rehab, relationships, identity. Those are all the things that a young woman is like trying to establish now in my life.
Mhm.
So it's like, where do I go from here? Right. I'm afraid, and it's cool to admit stuff like this, but I'm afraid to go back and ask my parents or my coaches or whoever for guidance in these situations, because although I know they will be super supportive, I feel like I've let them down. So now I'm in this mindset of, okay, where do I go? What do I do? How do I do it? And it's me trying to figure it out. That the depression sets in whenever I secluded myself from everybody, like put myself in my own box and tried to figure it out on my own, and it wasn't realistic. And I think that's where things they took a turn for the worse for me. It wasn't about the recovery process anymore. It was about something deeper. It was about my
Right.
future. It was things that I envisioned for myself that weren't possible anymore. So I think that, going back to what you said, like it wasn't per se about the injuries or the recovery. It was more so about all the other factors that played a role in.
Right. Now I respect that. So now I got to ask you too. Leading up to that, you go through all these series of highs and lows, highs and lows. You get your degree from Duke. You make the transition and you go to UNC Charlotte, where you put together was it a full season? Was it first year or pretty much? I would consider it a full season if it wasn't. And correct me if I'm wrong. You had scored double digits in 25 of the 30 games that you played. So just on a regular season standpoint, you were able to play in 30 games compared to over the last 4 years, like it was kind of like chopped in half, you know what I mean? What was that to finally experience, like, get a couple games under your belt and get back to yourself? How was that feeling for you on the court?
Yeah, I think that you're right. It was my very first season of playing a full season, right? So regardless of win, loss, draw, however it played out in the NCAA tournament, I literally went to my coach, Kara Consuegra, and she's an amazing person. I love her to death. She really impacted my life in all the positive ways. Went to her and I said, "Listen, I'm not even mad that we lost." I was like, "I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to be in a position that I'm in, because this is the first time that I've been able to complete a season." And we celebrated and about it. And like I said, she's super supportive. So when we chatted about it, man, we was just so excited that the one wish that I had came true, right? And whenever I was at Charlotte, I was grateful that Kara really invested in me, right? It was times where my body would hurt so bad that I wouldn't even practice, right? Like if we had games that went to overtime, and these things people don't know to this day, so y'all the first ones that's actually knowing this, except my teammates, but like it would be days where I would have flare-ups with my body that like I had to sit on the sideline and she would be like, no practicing for you. Conditioning tests and stuff. I didn't do a lot of the conditioning tests. I did like Alter G stuff. So it was like, different for me, because she knew how much pain that I was in all the time. Like
Right.
all the time. If we had overtime games, oh man, you could cancel me out for about two practices after that.
Right.
And including the recovery day. Like it was really crazy. But I think that, when it
Dang.
comes to the double digits in almost all of the games that I played in, people don't even realize, like, when I was at Charlotte, I was on chill mode. Like, I was coasting, right? Like, I wasn't really I gave my all, but I gave my all in the capacity that I can give it in. Meaning, going out there and doing too much. I was doing exactly what my team needed, but within the constraints of knowing where my body will be after the game. Does that make sense? Like,
Like
Yes.
you
it was
pushing
like,
the limit a little bit, but not over the limit.
oh,
Right.
no, exactly. Everything was monitored. Like when I tell you, Charlotte monitored me every step of the way. Anytime if they saw any ounce, we'll be in practice, and if I fell on the floor, you could just hear the room go silent because they were like, "Oh, like, what's going on?" Then I pop back up, and everybody like, "Man, don't scare us like that." You know what I mean? So that's how like crazy it was to just like be in that space. But
Right.
everybody was super supportive. We had an old team too, so we was all
So
just
it
kind of chill.
sounds it
It
sounds
sound
like,
like
going through. Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say it sounded like they was like, hey, Mikayla, hey, chill out now. We need you
No,
for this game. Matter of fact, go ahead and
exactly.
sit down. Hey, go ahead and sit down, take a little break. You feel me?
Exactly.
What they saying, Waterboy, wake up. We got to win this thing.
They knew, like, Charlotte knew. They would look at me and they'll be like, they'll give me that look, and that look mean turn it up. And whenever I turn it up, they'll look again and they'll be like, all right, dial it back. Like
Right.
we
Right.
had this understanding. Like, if I really wanted to go off, I could go off, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't have to. Like we had some dogs on our team. Like we had,
Right.
one of the league friends. We had the
Mhm.
best defender in our conference. One year we got coach of the year, defensive player of the year, 2 all conferences. We was like,
Yeah.
we to do a lot. You know what I
Right.
Right.
mean?
And it's crazy because it's a good thing though, because it sounds like from like your recruitment process going to Duke, it was like God intended everything the way it was supposed to be because you, despite the ups and downs or whatever, the trials and tribulations, you were still around a family oriented type team. Like they
Mhm.
took care of you, everything, you know what I'm saying? That was the reason you went to Duke. And then you leave. Most athletes, I'm here to tell you, any athlete that's gonna hear this and listen to this, if you haven't experienced it, and just hope you don't, but anytime you get some injuries under your belt, I'm gonna tell you now, that recruitment process gonna hit a little different. Things ain't gonna
Man.
look at you like you was once their star pupil. You know what I mean? So for you to even get to Charlotte and like pretty much they're taking care of you again, you know what I'm saying? Like they making sure that you are okay, both mentally and physically. Like, hey, we want to see you in because we know that dog in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you was able to
Yeah.
show that, man. And which again, we're gonna fast forward, we're gonna speed it up. You done with college ball, and if you don't know, you know now. True
Mhm.
Talk Podcast, you know what I'm saying? Our agency is owned by the very own Mikayla Boykin here.
Mhm.
Inspire Sports Group. Y'all, hey, join the wave. You better join the wave
Join
before
them
it get too
hey,
late
For
now.
sure.
You
join
know what I
them
mean? So
coming up.
take me through that mindset. What made you want to start your own sports agency?
I think for me was rooted it was rooted within the idea of wanting what I wanted whenever I was coming up. Right?
Mhm.
The needs and the needs that I was, yearning for, as a student athlete. How can I come in and be the difference maker?
Right.
What can I do to help give athletes the opportunity to be able to find their identity or
Mhm.
to help to build a brand outside of just sports or
Mm-hmm.
to help give them a resource where they feel like they're being cared for, they feel
Mhm.
loved, they feel oriented, they don't feel taken advantage of. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing for me. Within my agency, we work with creators, we work with collegiate athletes, we work with podcasters, we work with high school athletes. And if you ask
Mm-hmm.
anybody that we work with, like we feel like a close knit family, right? I got
Mhm.
Right.
some of my talent, they call and text me every single day and we just chit chat, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Like about different opportunities or we chit chat about what can I do to be better? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? A lot
Mm-hmm.
of they are calling, they're like, yo, like, how can I be better at this? What do you think about this that I just posted? Give me a little insight, teach me something. You know what I mean? Like I'm all for educating and helping the younger generation or even shoot. I got talent on my roster that's older than me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Hey,
it's
hey, hey,
really
hey, hey, chill out now.
it's but it's the idea that they
Mm-hmm.
really trust me to be able to make a difference in their life. And essentially with Inspire, that's what we're doing. We're making that difference. Like we provide, financial literacy. We provide the education piece. We help with
Mm-hmm.
recruitment with collegiate and high school athletes. Like we do
Mhm.
so many different things. We help on the branding side, with brand deals and all that good stuff. We do so many
Mm-hmm.
different things that these athletes really confide in us to help them grow. And
For sure.
even if it's something where they're starting, surface level, like
Mhm.
with everyone, you could see some sort of growth month to month. That's what we
Mm-hmm.
strive for. It's how can we make you better month to month
Right.
or 6 months down the line or a year down the line. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I feel that. So with you, you know what I'm saying, you starting your agency and getting thing, what is how can I ask it? What is the difference like in your mindset with doing this compared to because you're still training in a sense, how I would like to think of it. You still
Right.
got a team, you still the point guard, but now it's like you're a point guard for a corporation. So how does that for you, how is that mentality compared to like when you're trying to be this dog eat athlete competitor versus now you're trying to be this entrepreneur CEO, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the mentality shift there for you?
Yeah. I don't compete with other agencies.
Mhm,
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I
yeah,
compete within myself.
mhm,
It is a lot of people in this world. There's a lot of agencies in this world. There's a lot of creators, athletes in this world, right? Whenever I think about my agency and how I'm building it, I build it brick by brick. I'm not gonna bite off more than I can chew. I'm
Right.
gonna do things the way that I want to do it. Just like in basketball, knowing your role, right? I'm really good at my role and I know how to play my role. Everyone within my agency too, our entire team plays their role to the best of their ability. And the best
Right.
teams are made whenever everybody is bought in and playing their role. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Thanks.
So when it comes to my agency, that's how I look at it. I look at it as if it's a game of life. You know what I mean? Like you know, we have the ins and outs of our agency, but whenever we're going to go, recruit or we're going to go source out new talent or whatever it may be, I approach it as if it's a game day. I have information prior to jumping on calls. I have everything that I need to know before I get on that call because I want everyone that we are, potentially trying to work with to feel as if they are the most important thing in that moment. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But it's been an honor. It's been a blessing to be able to be in a position that we're in. Like we launched 7 months ago, something like that. And the place that we're at right now, like we've signed 10 plus talents, and I think everybody is doing exactly what they need to grow. And we have a lot of motion, in
For
all the
sure.
good ways.
For sure. For sure.
That's
So I
great to hear.
appreciate that, man. Yeah, I could tell you now, it was a no brainer for us to join the family, you know what I'm saying? Me,
For
Mike,
sure.
John, you know what I'm saying? John couldn't make it today, but it was a no brainer, you know what I mean? Like it was an easy conversation, felt relatable. You are relatable. Um Shoot, I feel like you said, like it's a family thing, which that's just a testament to your upbringing, the things that you've experienced in life. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I'm forever grateful, man. Look, true talk. Hey, we did that big thing. We already there.
It's
You know what I
slowly
mean?
For
getting.
sure.
It's all
Yeah,
getting. Like it's about to go up,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Slowly but surely.
Now, I
Yo,
told you
break my.
before we end this thing, I had controversial questions. So I gotta ask, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I know you watch the women's basketball thing. I know you in the know. And I know you probably know some of these people personally or have came across them personally. So I had to ask, what's your take on this whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? Like people trying to pit them against each other.
Oh
Like
Lord.
recently seen the clip. It's out there for the internet. It's out there for your own interpretations, people. Caitlin Clark, she's dapping up everybody. Angel Reese reach out. Angel Reese got left hanging. So I want to ask you, you know what I'm saying, what's your take on that?
I think that honestly speaking, I think that they both changed the game in so many different ways, and I think essentially it's beautiful from two different perspectives.
Okay.
Like you got Angel, that really I commend her because she's changed the game in every facet of women's basketball, from
Mhm.
little girls to pros to senior citizens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she really changed the way that we view the game and how we approach the game, right?
Right.
And you think about her off the court, right? I think
Yeah.
that's where her biggest impact has came from, is off the court, how she interacts off the court, what she's done off the court. She's paving ways, right? And not
Mhm.
to say that, I think she is a pioneer, but it's so many wonderful women who provided the opportunity for Angel to be where she is as well. So you got
Right.
every pro player that came before Angel that has slowly built their way up so Angel could thrive. You know what I mean? And I think that that's something special. All these players in this category didn't get all the recognition, but that's okay because that was their sacrifice. So now where people like Angel are able to kind of be put on a pedestal and continue to make a huge impact. On a Caitlin Clark stance, I think that Caitlin changed the game in a different way, right? Not so much as in the marketing stance like Angel,
Mhm.
but on the court, right? The
Right.
sellouts, the way that you can really see how a community backs her. Like she has her own Caitlin tribe. You know what I mean?
Fact.
Facts.
And in some of the best ways, but also in some of the worst ways. And that's just realistic, just with how diehard they are. But I think the
Mhm.
things that Caitlin has done over time has been amazing. Like from being able to be put on the stage and thrive like that, man, it's amazing to
Facts.
see. When it comes to them two clashing and how they put them against each other, I think that that's a part of the game, right? You got to have a
Right.
story, and who
Mm-hmm.
happen they are the story.
Yeah.
You
Right.
got two puppeteers who are thriving in this space. That's just human nature to put them up against each other, right?
Facts.
So I think that essentially what they're both doing is a beautiful thing, but I hope that the women's game is going to continue to evolve and become this even more beautiful than what it is now.
Hey, listen, that's that Duke media training right there. Cause y'all see how she basically she's saying, listen, man, both of them girls are good basketball players. Ain't got nothing to do with me. But no, I
That
want to ask
media
you,
training.
man, listen, come in handy. But
Every
the
time.
next one was everybody's if you've been following the women's basketball world and you're familiar with LSU, Kim Mulkey, Flage and all them, Flage mom went on record about 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there. She goes on, it was after that, it might have been farther than 2 weeks ago, but recently she goes on record. If you don't know, Flage mom is her manager.
Mhm.
And this ain't the first time she's done something like this. She did it back when when Angel Reese was at LSU and she spoke out, I don't really know all the facts if it was true or not, but she went on record saying that the reason Angel Reese was sat down and didn't play was because she was ineligible because of her grades. Personally, that wasn't her mama being able to speak and say that, but hey, I don't know if it's true or
Right.
not. This is just what she put out there. Well, recently she put out that, in her words, were Flage did not lose to South Carolina. South Carolina ain't never beat Flage. So pretty much in a nutshell. And I think because they pretty much her team lost, but Flage didn't lose in her words, in oh so many words, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because she was like, Flage don't need basketball and Flage is gonna be okay without basketball because her mama put her in a good position to win. Like she only doing college, like it's just a bunch. And I don't know, Mikayla, if you've heard any of that, but what's your stance on, having the mom as a manager to go on record and just say, y'all lost to South Carolina, but my daughter didn't lose?
I didn't hear about that, to be honest. So this is my first
Mm.
time actually hearing about it. I think that essentially, like, I get what mom is trying to say, just from what you said. I get what mom is
Mhm.
trying to say. Essentially, parents are gonna be parents, though, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
they're gonna always try to make sure that their kid is seen in the highest light. And
Mhm.
although I know what she was intending to say, and it seems like from what you were saying, it was like she was pretty much just trying to say, even though that they lost on the court, Flage is still
Mhm.
winning in life. Essentially, that's
Yeah.
what she's trying to say, and I think
Mhm.
that that's okay,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I
Now,
agree.
down the way that it was kind of put out there, the timing, I think that could have been, if it was right after the game, that could have been something that could have kind of waited a little bit, or
Yeah.
the way that she put it out could have been a little
Mhm.
worded a little bit differently.
Mhm.
Like moms are gonna be moms, dads are gonna be
Right.
dads. Think about like LeVar Ball, or think about like
Man.
So immediately who
men's
I thought of.
people. They gonna always
Mhm.
ride for they kids, and I respect it
Yep.
for sure.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I felt like, maybe the timing was a little off, but I just chopped it up to like LeVar Ball and all them, parents being parents. Like back in the day,
Exactly.
Sean Jackson dad, rest in peace to his dad, he was one of those dads that was so outspoken that when he got drafted, they told him, like, we don't want your daddy at the facility. Like, he can't come on the
Interesting.
premises, not to no practices, all because they were worried about what he may say in the media and the type of
Yeah.
attention it may
No
bring.
filter.
So,
He
Right.
ain't have
yeah,
a
so
filter for sure.
sometimes, facts, like, so sometimes parents just being parents, man, that's all. But
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to ask, pick your brain apart. And I appreciate you coming on. It was a very
But
good
definitely appreciate it.
interview. I learned a lot
Of course.
about
I
who
got a
you
question
are
for
as a,
y'all.
oh, go ahead. We'll get this
What's
out.
up?
Just go
Yeah.
ahead.
Look at y'all. What would you say? True talk. Y'all been going at it for a while now.
Mhm.
Would you say two questions in one?
Mhm.
What is
Mhm.
your favorite moment with True Talk? And
Mhm.
favorite moment slash in what ways do you feel like you've grown? So we'll just start there.
Mhm.
What ways do you feel like you've grown with True Talk?
I'll let you go first, Mike.
I would say ways that I feel like
Just
I've
threw you
grown
on
with truth. Huh? Say that
he
again.
just
I
tried to
missed
throw
that.
you on the spot, didn't he?
No, he did, but I was already prepared. I feel like ways that I've grown with True Talk is simply by like, I guess being more outspoken, being more, I guess, personable when it comes to like interviewing different people. Like you said, prior to you hopping on calls in the agency aspect of just like knowing who you're interviewing, and basically just seeing like things come to light. And honestly, it's just been a blessing so far because like me and Eli were just having a discussion about how much we've grown and how things have transpired from when we first started. So I feel like for me personally, my growth has just been like just being more outspoken and just like asking the right questions, and I guess not being so shy because we talk about it all the time. We both wanted to be sports broadcasters, but life took a different turn. So now here we are, and we got a podcast in which we can like make those dreams that we wanted come to fruition. So I think that's my growth and my aspect in that regard.
So kind of as John would say, piggyback off of that. Let me piggyback off. But nah, just to kind of piggyback off of that for real, for real. I think one of the things that I've grown with just having this is learning the business, learning what comes with a podcast. And that goes, a lot of people don't know the behind the closed doors, the scenes that, the things that go into it. Like you have to do the editing, the making your graphic designs and all that, making it look good, making it appealing to people wanting to come and see. But that was one of the things is like knowing that, okay, the time and hours actually come into it. Like you can't just, I mean, you can get up here, anybody can get up here and just speak, but get up here, speak, and also like it's just, how can I put it? Just being yourself. When we
Hmm.
first started, I'm not gonna lie, when we first started, I was so worried about what people gonna say, what people gonna when they see me, like I can't say certain things, I can't be myself. I just keep it all professional. Oh, how you guys doing? But in all honesty, that was one of the biggest things I had to grow on is just learning the business and learning that it's okay to be yourself. Some people gonna like it, some people ain't. I'd rather
Hmm.
be that. Mike sent me a post about 2-3 days ago. It was like all of these people were nuisance. Like at one point, Mr. Beast was somebody that people when he posted that was somebody was like, man, this dude posting again, like he getting on my nerve. And now you look at
Hmm.
Mr. Beast, you know what I mean? And so for us, that growth of when you first coming out there, like we didn't have no. If you go back and watch the first episodes of True Talk, we were all over the place, literally all
Hmm.
over the place. Didn't really have formulated questions. We was having like system glitches all the time,
Hmm.
and it was just one of those things where it's like you newbies, it's kind of a growing pain, and you like, how can we be better? Looking at, I'm a competitor, so I don't look at everything like a competition, but I look at everything like a competition, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at what are these people doing right? They're in the same space as me. They're accomplishing things that I'm trying to get to. So what are they doing that we're not doing? You know what I mean? And so just learning the business of how to like be a good competitor and
Hmm.
be a better interviewer and making people feel comfortable. I think with all of our personalities, we mesh very well together that it like, like I like to have fun. And so now I've grown to that place where like whoever watched this, I have to be true to the name. We chose The Real Understands Everything for a reason. I'm not being
Hmm.
real if I'm not being myself. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
that was the biggest thing for me, just growing is just learning the business and being authentically myself and not really worried about what nobody gonna say because since then that has skyrocketed the growth, the amount of people that want to come and see us, the amount of people that DM and be like, hey yo, this was funny, I like this, or can I come on? Like, having people at one point we were reaching out to so many people, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In the business world, they call it cold calling. We were literally like, if I could go and knock on your door, I would have knocked on your door. Hey, we got a new podcast. You know what I'm saying? What's up? You know what I mean? But now it's
Right.
gotten to the point where we're growing to a point of where we got people DMing us, like literally random people from all walks of life. Like, hey man, I heard the podcast. Like, I love what y'all doing. Like, want to love, you know what I'm saying? Can I come on? And, obviously you got to I do my research now. Me and my team, we do our research, make sure that, it ain't that we ain't gonna just have anybody on here, but we want to make sure that we doing it in a way of where, you know, it's beneficial for both parties. Everything look good and everything, we can have fun. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing for me, is just growing in the business and learning to continue to just be myself and not really worried about what people are gonna say when they see it because either you're gonna hate it or you love it. Like there's a bowler that said this. He said, hate me or love me, you watch. That's all you could do.
For sure.
That's what I'm at. Man.
What did last question I have is what advice would you give like a younger you?
I'll go first on this one. start sooner. Don't be afraid to fail because again, and it goes back to why I said my biggest growth was for years, like long before I met Mike, long before I had met John. And then I even take it back. Like if you go and watch our older episodes, long before I met Vic, we started with 4. I've always wanted to do podcast. Not even gonna say podcasting, but I guess, I always wanted to do something where I'm speaking to athletes, which before I went to college, I was like, I'm gonna work for ESPN so I can speak to athletes, I can talk about sports. And as you go through life, things change, and it's like I can start to talk about sports, but I realize like I'm a bit of a people's person. Like I like to talk to people, network, get to know people behind whatever they're doing. But I didn't realize God was shaping me up for this the whole time. You know what I mean? And so what I would tell my younger self is start sooner. All you need is a phone.
Yep.
Right.
Or a camera or a laptop. All you need is something that can see you and you can put it out. You know what I mean? And eventually, as you practice it, it's gonna get better. You know what I mean? So I would definitely tell my younger self, like, just start sooner, bro. Like, don't be scared to fail. You know enough people. Like Mike them talk all the time. He be like, bro, you might know more people than me. I don't know. But you know people. And so it's just like eventually, you know what I'm saying? All you need is that one video, that one break, that one deal, and everything will take care of itself from there. And so, yeah, the one advice I would give young Eli is just like, bro, you rather try and fail than to live and not know at all.
Right. I guess to segue off of that is like how Eli said, just do it. Just basically do it. Don't wait to do it. I think a coach or mentor told me a while back is just if you're gonna fail, fail fast. Get back up and just keep going. But
Facts.
to segue into like my personal thing of what I'll tell my younger self is simply always unapologetically be yourself. Don't shape who you are and what you want in life and what you know you can attain by somebody else's regard to basically fit in. So to me, like I've made certain decisions and certain choices based off of everybody else around me, trying to make sure that everybody else around me was always good and happy, even though to me it didn't make sense because how in the long term is this going to be beneficial to me? How in the long term, how am I going to feel about doing this certain thing? So I had to learn that like in a sense that you have to be selfish in a way to basically attain what you need to attain to basically be successful. Specifically speaking on this podcast, this is something that I'm doing extra. This is something that like I hope will change lives one day for those below me and create generational wealth outside of what I'm doing on the day to day. So I just knew that it was going to take time to get to that point. I just knew it was going to take work. Like I have an athletic mindset, so I just knew that like you genuinely are going to get out of it what you put in. So like I said, unapologetically being myself, like I know what I have to do to get to that point. So not really like caring about what everybody else is saying, just focusing on like what I know. I'm taking in the gems and whatnot, but like measling out the negativity because I don't need that because it's just like it's not going to get me to where I want to be because in the end I know that this is going to work out in the long term because nobody sees it now. But like, even like with you, Mikayla, even like with you, Eli, like there's been times that we've been at our lowest and whatnot and nobody was there. But then when you get to the highest points in your life, everybody and their mama just coming out of woodwork saying, congratulations. I knew you would make it. I knew this. I knew that. But in the same breath, where were you at when I actually needed you? Where were you at when I
Yep.
was like down
Facts.
and out trying to figure this out? You feel me? When I was telling you about it. So just unapologetically be yourself and know when to say no and just keep it pushing. Stack your days. That's advice that I give my younger self
Yep.
because nobody can change you and what you've done, but there's some people that I've realized throughout this duration that will just try to ride the coattails and whatnot because you quote unquote did something that they sort of wanted, but it's just like it's necessarily not what you wanted to get you to that point, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. That's dope.
Which I'll add this too on top of that. I'll also tell my younger self, make sure you build the right team.
For
Build the
sure.
right team. Possibilities are endless. You know what I'm saying? And go from there.
Yeah. Dope.
Appreciate those questions. Man. I love when
No, for
when
sure.
people come on and ask us questions, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, it put us a little bit in the chair of our interviewee, you know what I mean? I had a dope interview. And you
Yeah,
did
for
ask the
sure.
question, what's been our favorite thing about the podcast? For me, there's two things. One, and I know it's gonna sound cliche, but meeting so many new people. The saying that your net worth is your network is your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those people that wholeheartedly believe it just because I know my name are in spaces that I ain't even entered yet.
For
I
sure.
know my name has been brought up to people that I don't even know, you know what I'm saying, in a good way. So for me, just meeting new people has been one of the most exciting things about this, one of the funnest things about it. And two is just the laughs, man, the memories, you know what I'm saying? Like one day everything is on the internet. Internet is forever, you know what I mean? But like just to be able to look back and laugh at it, you know what I'm saying? Like if you need a good pick me up, you know what I'm saying? You can go turn our podcast on and find clips of stuff that'll just make you laugh, make you feel, you know what I'm saying, that's relatable. So, I definitely enjoy that aspect. And I enjoy when we not on air. Cause that's some stuff that really we should start recording, but we might talk. Maybe we in the we're briefing before we go live or right after we go live. That just be like there's some stuff that people have shared with us. Obviously, we wouldn't put it on air. They don't put it on air. We ain't gonna put it on air. But you
Right.
hear the details like there's a guy that we know who it is now, but there was a guy that decided to eat hot Cheetos right before what was it? Was it his combine?
Yes.
It was
I think
something
I think it
important.
was.
It's either that or it was something, but it messed his stomach up. But he was advised by his nutritionist, you know what I'm saying, shout out Daniela, that, sir, why would you eat Cheeto before that, man? Come on, man. But just those little things, like those little stories, I think that's dope. Just because you building that connection with people, and you just find
Sure.
there's joy in humor. You know what I mean? So that's what I like.
For sure. That's dope, man. I'm proud of y'all guys. I think this is big
Yeah.
Thank you,
time.
thank
I think it's gonna be something that's gonna be super huge in due
Mhm.
time, especially staying slow and steady. I can't wait to see what it's gonna look like a year from now.
you.
No,
So
for sure.
as always, man, it's been a dope episode. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate you coming on, Mikayla. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to not only just join the family of Inspire, but just becoming family in general. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Took the time out today to let
Mhm.
us and the people know just a little bit more of who you already are as a person, your upbringing, your athletic background, your artistry, the CEO, you know what I'm saying? Big Suge Knight, not the little one. But no, it's definitely been fun. And as always, it's all love. We're family forever. We locked in. I speak for everybody on True Talk when I say this. They're like, we're very grateful for you and the things that you're doing and continue to do for us. That will conclude this episode of the Real Understands Everything podcast. You know what I'm saying?
For
True
sure.
Talk. I want to tell y'all, as the fan base is following, we also appreciate y'all because we can't do it without y'all, man. Keep tuning in if you want to hear more real conversations, more raw emotions. And we're gonna be
Mhm.
back at it again, man, with another banger. Like I said last episode, you know what I'm saying? You don't know who we gonna have next. You just don't know, man. It just gonna pop out. We just gonna pop out with them, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, y'all keep tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the love. Mikayla, I appreciate the love coming on today. It
For
was a
sure.
good one. Indeed, I can't wait till we, you know what I'm saying, we put this out.
Oh
And
yeah.
anybody else that's in the basketball world, they want to come on, especially on my female hoopers, y'all all welcome. You know what I'm saying? Don't
For
all
sure.
speak at once, but y'all all welcome. All right, y'all, man, it's been fun. Peace.
All right.
Peace.